Hello, everybody. This is Roxanne Harris here, inspiring you to engage with your wellness to create your own beautiful life. Today, I want to talk to you about how to customize and make your own roller bottles for acute or chronic pain or inflammatory situations. So personally, I love doTERRA essential oils. I advocate for them and I enjoy them because they are highly effective. They are super safe. They're extremely well researched, and they are at the top end of what we know to be a medicinal grade essential oil. There are so many amazing properties to essential oils, and you'll find that as I discuss today, that some of them overlap a little bit, but today is the day for me where I get to make my own blend that because my bottle is empty, which means I need a little refill. So what I do is I make up a larger amount so that it makes my life easier, that I can get up and go without having to take 10 or 15 minutes to do an application in the morning or again at nighttime. It just eases the process for me to make sure that I am actually flowing and functioning to the best of my ability while allowing myself time freedom to make sure that I don't get bogged down with kind of the daily rituals. So many of you know that in the year 2000, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called ankylosing spondylitis. Ankylosing spondylitis, like many autoimmune diseases, has no cure. It has no actual medical model that provides relief, right? There are no medicines or things like that that actually improve the condition or the prognosis. And so for many, many years, I actually was completely, really debilitated with pain. Now, that doesn't mean that I put my life on hold. In fact, I'm a bit of a rebel. And so what I did was I pushed the envelope a lot. I did a lot of things physically that I was told I shouldn't do, but I had kids. I had 4 kids, under the age of, I think, 6 when I was diagnosed. And so your life has to continue. And so over the years, I have developed some really amazing protocols around autoimmune disease, and especially involving pain or inflammatory conditions and gastrointestinal conditions, which always kind of seem to follow or come alongside of chronic diseases or illnesses that we can have, and as well as chronic fatigue. So anytime the body is in pain or inflammation, we're going to have a lot of chronic fatigue and or brain fog, and it's just part of the process. So I've learned how to do some things in my life, and in coming videos and series, we're going to talk about those and how you can grab a hold of wellness for yourself through adding various daily health habits, and part of that has been doTERRA essential oils. So today is the day where I'm going to make a little roller bottle. Now, I actually have a special little case that I have for the oils that I use personally to make up my anti-pain, anti-inflammatory, feel-good mojo roller bottle that I use twice a day and more if needed. Maybe I've had a super busy day or I've done some extra strenuous things that are tugging my muscles or ligaments or joints a little bit too much, I'll reapply. So I have a special little case, and I'm going to go through these today. So it's going to be a bit of a longer video, and I'm not going to apologize for that because I want you to know why I've chosen these, and I also want you to know that you can do the same thing, that you can sit down with either myself or one of my amazing team members, and we can customize something that is for you, for your needs. So I'm going to walk through these. The ones at the top are just my kind of fun oils, my go-to oils that sometimes I just really love to have as a bit of a luxury, maybe my rose or jasmine if I need extra support in some way. So generally what I do, you can do a number of different things. You can get empty 10 ml roller bottles. They actually come in all different sizes that you can fill. Generally for me, because of the frequency that I'm using using this blend. A 10 ml roller bottle would really only last me about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, because I utilize it on a large component of my body, and I'll talk about that. You can also reuse empty oil bottles, which I'm a huge fan of for upcycling, and you get a little bit more. They're 15 mils generally, but I'm going to make a 50, so 50 ml roller bottle that I'm going to keep in a dark, cool place because it doesn't have the protective amber or blue or a different color to filter out the light to preserve the essential oils. But I want to show you how easy this is. So if you have an old essential oil bottle, generally I try and use a bottle that would be involving an oil that I want to use in that blend, right? Because that just makes more sense. You can get special tools to pop the lids off, but one thing that many people don't know is you can use the lip of the lid to actually hook on the plastic bit. Of course, it's not working for me today. And you can pull that right off so that you have an empty hole. Now what I do is I actually go, usually when I'm in the US I buy a whole bunch, but I do believe my essential business in Toronto, many other places carry them, but they're little roller bottles that actually fit inside the 15 ml and the 5 ml essential oil bottles. So it makes those bottles into an instant roller bottle, which is super handy. Now, what I do generally is I start off with a bit of fractionated coconut oil. The reason we use fractionated coconut oil is because it stays liquid all the time, so you don't have to worry about it solidifying. doTERRA makes a really good one where it's very, very smooth, very light. There's no fragrance. It absorbs very easily into the skin because we want the essential oils to go deeper into the tissues. We don't want them staying on the surface and having a superficial effect. We want them to get deep into targeted places where, you know, the knots, the lumps, the bumps, the pain, wherever the issue is coming from, that's where we want to get the essential oils nice and deep. So what I do is I just give a good little squeeze into the bottom just to give me kind of a starting platform so that as I'm adding my oils in there, they're kind of mixing around already. There's a couple of schools of thoughts. There's something called the Symphony of Cells where we're applying oils in a very specific order to usually the spine, the bottom of the feet, the back of the head. It's brilliant, but sometimes you don't always have time to do that. And sometimes many of us, you know, we can't reach in those various areas. So the roller bottles make a lot of sense. The first oil that I use is Aroma Touch. This is known as our massage blend. The reason it's the massage blend is because it helps to mobilize fluid. It increases circulation. So where you're having pain or inflammation in your body, you're not getting maybe a lot of movement of fluid. You're getting a lot of blood to the area to try and heal whatever's going on, because that's your body's natural response. Let's bring in all the blood cells to help heal that. But that is what actually creates the pain, because you have more fluid there than what you're used to. And so the Aroma Touch actually helps to mobilize that and keep that flowing, help with the detoxification, and especially mobilizing lymphatic fluid. Now, when you smell this one, you're going to find that it's very herbaceous in its smell, okay? There's a lot of herbs in here, such as basil. Many people, that's the smell they're going to smell immediately. But it's a combination of herbs for fluid mobility and also for calming, relaxing the brain, the body, the muscles, the joints. When I'm going to add the oils, I add an equal number to start. Because this is a 50 ml bottle, I generally am going to start with 20 drops of each, and then I customize it according to what I want to smell like. So I have put together my own little formula. and I'll, talk about that at the end. The next oil that I add is birch. Now, birch is not available for purchase. It's something that you normally get for free if you buy a convention kit at convention. It's an oil sourced in Canada. It is one of the few oils that is very specifically called for in ankylosing spondylitis because it has some really beautiful beneficial effects on the actual cartilage and joints themselves, to loosen, but also to prevent kind of the fusing together is what happens in ankylosing spondylitis. You'll find that birch actually smells like wintergreen, right? And so anything that actually has a flavoring of wintergreen is actually birch flavoring. So from the birch tree, because it's not toxic. Not that it's toxic. That's a wrong word. Wintergreen can be a blood thinner in high quantities, all right? And so birch is just different. It smells similar, but it's a completely different tree. And if you're wanting to know more about the different oils, check this out, the Essential Life book. So available on so many platforms. It goes through all of the different conditions. But when you're looking up the different oils, what I love about it, it gives you chemical components. So kind of what it's all about, what the constituents are, and then some of the top uses. It also gives you research. So at the bottom, you have research articles that have been done, research papers done by various institutions and researchers, but connective tissue issues and muscle injuries is what birch is really for. Ankylosing spondylitis is a cross between osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. It's kind of a blend of those, but it's more than that, and it actually causes a fusing together of the spine. And so birch oil is really spectacular for any type of arthritic or rheumatism kind of issues or degeneration of the spine. And it's great for bone spurs. So, when you're looking at what's happening with my body and the spine itself, fusing itself together, the hips, the joints, this is a great oil to prevent that or kind of slow down that process. But also look at other bone spur issues. Maybe you've got some heel spurs going on, or maybe you've got some bunions on your feet. It can be very soothing to that. So birch is an oil that I love, love, love. Copaiba, started adding Copaiba to this 2 years ago, I guess, when doTERRA launched it, because Copaiba is specifically for pain. It really is an anti kind of pain. It's an anti-inflammatory. It as well is really good for any type of muscle, ligament kind of issues. And it's also great for the gastrointestinal system. So when I'm looking up making a formula for myself, I want to, kind of target as many things at the same time as I can. So I want to heal my gastrointestinal system as well as what's happening in my spine and in my joints. Copaiba really for me has no smell at all. It's just one of those oils that is very neutral but so therapeutic. It's also anti-anxiety and relaxing and calming. So many people with a chronic pain or even acute pain, you can find that you're quite anxious because of you can't escape your body. You can't get away from what's happening. And so you have this internal anxiety because I wonder what the day is going to be like. You maybe wake up in the morning and think, oh my gosh, like, what is this day? How am I going to feel today? And, you start assessing maybe how you're feeling. Oh my gosh, my back, my hips, even before you get out of bed. And what I want to share with you is that the way you think about your day is probably the way it's going to unfold. If you wake up in the morning and you realize that you're awake, it's like, hallelujah, I'm alive. This is a miracle. It's going to be a great day. So I encourage you that part of the process of living well and creating a beautiful life is actually your thought process and what you're actually thinking along the way. It can make a huge difference. Cyprus is a tree oil that I add to this blend as well. Cyprus is really good as well for circulation. According to Health Canada, it tells us that it does help or assist in rheumatoid arthritis, so support the body through that. It's really good for restlessness, right? So when the muscles are tense and you're just fidgety, Cyprus can really help to calm that down. As well, because of the increase in circulation, it really helps from your fluids kind of piling up. And when you have an inflammatory condition, you get a lot of piling up of fluids, which helps to increase the pain because the body's not properly detoxifying. So cypress is a great oil that I add. It's really good for liver support as well. So, often when we have a chronic condition, our livers aren't working optimally well. We've got a backlog of, garbage, toxins, and yuck from the inflammatory response. And so it just helps to support the liver to move that forward. I do actually add a bit of our soothing blend, which is deep blue, as an oil because it's a driving oil. So it's really good just generally as an anti-inflammatory. Supports proper body function, joints, muscles, ligaments, tendons as well. So I add a bit of that kind of just as a driving force, a driving oil. I also add Douglas fir. Now, many people aren't familiar with Douglas fir. All of the fir oils are really supportive for joints and tissues, inflammation, pain issues, even breathing issues or congestion issues. Douglas fir is really good for brain fog, exhaustion, which is part of the whole process that I talked about at the beginning, but it's also actually really supportive, again, for the arthritic or joint kind of issues. To me, it smells intoxicatingly amazing. I love it. I actually usually add a bit more Douglas fir than anything else because I love the smell. I love it to be one of the predominant smells of my blends because I find it just so soothing and calming. And what you might not know about Douglas fir is it actually supports healthy bowel function. So make sure that the bowels are releasing well. So anytime you have a chronic pain or inflammatory condition, you want to make sure that the bowels are actually moving because we want those toxins to flush and move out of the body. Something I learned maybe last year was how wonderful eucalyptus is in kind of supporting the arthritic body. Eucalyptus is a bit warming, so it helps to warm up the muscles and the tissues, which can feel really good when you have a chronic state going on. It's really, really good again as part of muscle fatigue. So yes, it's great for the pain, but it's also really good for the fatigue of the muscles. So part of when I look at what's happening with my body, my muscles tend to get fatigued. Okay, so I might start the day off really well, like a great rock star, and by the end of the day, depending on what I'm doing, the muscle fatigue sets in and everything just feels heavy, right? And so the eucalyptus helps that to not happen, and so that my body feels good throughout the full day, just as good and just as supportive as it was in the beginning of the day. Now, the next one I add is frankincense. Who does not love frankincense? This rock star gem of an oil that if you don't know what to use, you should be using frankincense. I use frankincense in this blend because frankincense is an enhancing oil. Frankincense actually makes all of the other oils work better. It enhances the effect of the oils, so I get more pain relief. I get better anti-inflammatory. I get better improvement with brain fog, right? I get easier flow and movement, enhanced circulation. Frankincense is great because really it has some amazing anti-inflammatory properties of its own. It's a stellar oil that if you have an inflammatory disorder at all or a chronic issue, you do need to add frankincense in some way. Frankincense I use a couple of different ways. I actually take it orally, 2 drops, and I take my tongue, just rub it into the top of your mouth. So I'm pushing it closer to my brain, I'm pushing it into the sinuses, so I'm getting a self-diffusing but also I'm helping to get that anti-inflammation up into the brain for myself, but also to remove the brain fog, to lessen any head tension that I'm getting. Love, love, love our Frankie. Um, Also, an oil that I learned about probably about 9 months ago, in helping somebody else with their issues, was ginger. Ginger is a warming oil. It really kind of melts the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments. It helps to stop spasming. It helps to stop cramping. And one of the things that used to happen to me quite a bit before I really got everything under control is when I would try to relax at night, just as you're kind of falling asleep and the body would start relaxing, I would be gripped with searing pain as my muscles would actually go into deep spasm because in my day, I was actually holding my body so tensely to keep myself erect that when I went to sleep and those muscles would start to relax, my body didn't like it and it wanted to hold it back in tension. And so I would literally be launched out of bed and my body would go up and I would be just in this massive contracted state of just extreme pain. And it would happen over and over and over and over again every 5-10 minutes until my body actually kind of gave it up. And sometimes it wouldn't, and it would be all night long. Sometimes it would happen only 5 or 6 times, but it was really, really uncomfortable. And the ginger really helped to stop that spasming and that contraction and allow the muscles to really relax. And actually, I go through my day now without actually being tensed in my abdomen and contracting and trying to hold my body together. So really great, but also as a side effect, or a side note, the ginger is really good for the digestive system as well. So again, working on myself at trying to heal the whole of my body, not just one component, because our body is a cog, right? It's made up of hundreds of cogs that all work together in synergistic unity. So if one of them gets stuck, eventually everything kind of gets stuck along the way. And we have a myriad of symptoms, but it's not necessarily a myriad of issues. It's just a cause and effect. So I like to incorporate and use things that work together in unity and harmony so that my body as a whole functions optimally well. And that's what we're trying to do when we're creating a wellness state, right? And creating a beautiful life is getting our body to function as the whole that it was intended to and designed to. I add only a couple of drops of Helichrysum. Helichrysum is a neurotonic. It actually helps the nervous system to work better, and it helps with kind of nerve pain. So with the condition that I have, there's a lot of nerve pain involved in it, but also there's a lot of scarring. There's a lot of scarring on the bones, a lot of scarring of the muscles, the tissues. And so Helichrysum actually stops the scarring. I only add about 5 drops. Same with the birch. It's there. With Helichrysum, I also actually take it internally. I take about 5 drops internally every day, right on my tongue. Sometimes I add it to a veggie cap, but it helps my nervous system to function properly and support myself really, really well. I super love it. I think it's an amazing rock star of an oil. Now, according to Health Canada, lavender is a great oil to support the rheumatoid arthritis. Now, again, remember the condition I have is a combination. So I'm kind of pulling from different areas what I know now over 3 years of putting this together for myself just works so well. Lavender supports the immune system to function well. It's also amazing for proper sleep. It's great as an anti-anxiety. It's great again for the gastrointestinal system, but it really, really supports the calming of the muscles and the supportive tissues around the joint. So I do add some lavender in that. One of my favorite oils, I was just talking with one of my good friends, Dawn, yesterday, and it's one of her favorites as well, is lemongrass. Lemongrass is always one of my go-tos. When I'm starting with someone who has a chronic pain issue, I always look at 3 oils: cypress, lemongrass, and marjoram, which is coming up next. And we use those as our base to see, how much of the pain and the inflammation we can get rid of before we have to add something else. So remember, with myself, I was in this extreme debilitative state for 15 years before essential oils found me. So I have a lot of cleanup to do of my body. And so my protocol is very hardcore. All right. So lemongrass, I don't know who doesn't love the smell. It's intoxicating, it's beautiful, it's yummy, it makes me feel good. Lemongrass is a real feel good picker upper. It's great for any type of stress or anxiety. But what I love it for the most is it's really there to support connective tissue injury. And so my connective tissue is messed up, guys. It's so messed up that the physiotherapists, the chiropractors, the osteopaths, people that I work with will tell you she's messed up. Like, her body does not respond, or historically did not respond, the way a normal physiology would respond. But now, thanks to my protocol of the essential oils, what I'm doing with my health and wellness, I get excellent response with my connective tissue, my muscles, my joints. It's really amazing. Lemongrass also helps to decongest the lymphatic system, which is what we need if we're trying to cleanse and detoxify our body and decrease inflammation and pain. So love that. It moves the fluids in the body as well. Now, the next one I use is marjoram. You may cook with marjoram. It's very popular in German and some European dishes, but marjoram is an herb that has extreme anti-spasmodic properties. Is really calming and soothing. It is exceptional for muscle cramps, for sprains, for spasms, for all kinds of kind of colicky situations, feeling unwell, the tension, the pressure. It's exceptional for head tension as well. Love marjoram. Many people, it's their remedy for head pressure or the like. It's very calming. The next one I use is Siberian fir. Now, Siberian fir replaced white fir. So when we look at the chemistry of Siberian fir, it's really almost completely identical to white fir, except in every category, the chemical constituents are actually higher. So you get a much greater effect in the body. So good for any type of pain, inflammatory issue, rheumatism issue, the arthritis, the achy, the muscles, broken bones, osteoporosis, where the body's just kind of degenerating, fusing together, whatever's happening. It's why it's a rock star for me with ankylosing spondylitis. As a fir oil, it still has the calming, the anti-anxiety. It has the amazing support for autoimmune disorders, sluggish metabolism, liver congestion. Love this oil. Siberian fir is one of the only firs that has internal application, is excellent for anxiety and brain fog. And I take 2 drops twice a day of Siberian fir because I have a chronic health condition where chronic fatigue, anxiety, brain fog, all of that is part of it. And I can say, well, at least it used to be part of it. I don't want to feel that way anymore. And so I'm so happy with the protocol that I've developed through my own research, through my own clinical practice, through the support of all of the loving people that I've met along the way in my doTERRA journey, that I don't have those issues anymore. So although technically, clinically, my body has ankylosing spondylitis, I don't have it. I don't feel it. My body is free, and I'm so thrilled for that. I cannot be more thankful for the journey that I've had. I cannot be more thankful actually to doTERRA, but also for God, just for just the amazing plants that He's created on this earth. I do actually, when they were phasing out white fir, I bought like 20 bottles of it because I do love it. It is different than Siberian fir. Some people feel that it just works better for them. I don't know. It's really good for regeneration of muscles and tissues. Stress and the foggy mind. I don't put as much. I only put about 10 drops in my bottle because I'm saving it. I'm down probably to only about 6 bottles, so I'm kind of stressing about that, but it's okay. I'm doing well. And then the wintergreen. Now, wintergreen is highly indicated for my condition. It's also highly indicated for any type of a rheumatism, for pain, any time that you need an increase in circulation. There's cramping, there's spasming, there's nerve pain. So it kind of has some of the properties of birch as well. It's excellent when you have actual injury to cartilage, which I definitely do. So there's lots of things that can happen, like a meniscus tear in your knee, or maybe you've twisted or rolled an ankle, but you can damage cartilage, you can damage your ligaments, your tendons. You can have problems with all kinds of joints in your body. Sometimes I find when wintergreen gets a bit cold, it flows a little bit slower. So I generally add more wintergreen to my formula. So I'm going to do more than the 20 drops because I love the smell. It's one of the predominant smells that I want to smell like. I don't want to walk around smelling like marjoram or basil. I want to smell good. And it's funny how many people stop me and say, "You smell so good." And it's my pain blend, actually. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it, usually I cup it with my hand. I give it a really good shake, and then I smell it. Guys, it's pretty much about perfect. So I'll play with it a little bit. I'll add a couple more drops. I'll fill it with coconut oil, and then I'll put some in my little bottle. I'll hide this one away in a nice dark place. Yeah, so that it protects the oils, and then I just use a smaller roller bottle. Now for me, because my issue is widespread, and because I'm trying to heal my body and get my spine regenerating and get my muscles moving, I do take that roller bottle, and it's up and down the entirety of my spine, my back, my hips, down the front of my legs, because my psoas muscles and my IT band were heavily affected for many, many, many years. So loosening those up. But then what I do is I actually apply deep blue rub over top. Now the deep blue rub is stronger than the oil. It's a driving oil. It's a penetrating oil. It's going to take those oils and push them super, super deep into the tissues. So the rub comes as the little 120 ml bottle. I've been buying the great big. It's the 1 liter bottle, 32 ounces. I love it. It's so handy. Use it in my clinic as well. This one only available through the US office, but you can use your points to get it for free. I do really love that format. And I've also been taking the deep blue polyphenols internally, right? So this is actually a very small capsule that I actually take 2 or 3 times a day. So quite small if you measure it actually to the finger. And it helps to support internal function and to stop my body from like freaking out and stopping it from overreacting, which is where that autoimmune comes from, that the body is freaking out and overreacting to things that it shouldn't be, right? And so I hope that that gave you some value and a little bit of insight. So I have a busy lifestyle. I run my own clinic. I advocate for doTERRA. I have an amazing doTERRA community. And this is one of the things that makes my life more streamlined, that I do spend. Actually, it takes me maybe about 6 minutes. And I put my larger bottle together about once every 3 or 4 weeks so that I have access to it, that every time my little bottle runs dry, I just quickly top it up and I'm ready to go. So I never miss this. I'm getting to the point now where I actually feel so good all of the time. I actually do end up leaving my room in the morning going, "Oh yeah, I didn't put that on." I'll get in bed at night and go, "Oh yeah, I didn't put that on." And the reason that I get up or I go back and I do it is because when you have a chronic pain or inflammatory condition, keeping on top of it is what keeps you feeling well. If you're only using the oils or the products deep blue polyphenols when you feel pain, it means that you're not keeping your inflammatory levels here. It means you're allowing yourself to get into your higher zones that makes it more unmanageable, more painful, and takes a lot more work to reverse the course. So I would invite you to join with me. Feeling better, creating a wellness lifestyle is not a 1 day or a 3 day trial. Really, you have to be committed. You have to be invested into you, into taking care of you, into actually determining to persevere, to find what works for you, so that you can feel optimally well, to create a beautiful life, to create the life that you've always envisioned, to create the life that you've dreamed of, to have the freedom in your body, to have the freedom in your mind. Imagine what it would be like to wake up without pain. Imagine what it would wake up to not feel the brain fog. Imagine what it would be to feel like you're rested when you wake up in the morning. Imagine what it would feel like to not have your buttons pressed all day, and to not have the stress and the anxiety, and to maintain a state of calm throughout your day. I invite you to partner with me. I invite you to join with me and just see what your body is capable of, because I know it's capable of great things. If you can take a body that was as messed up as mine, where really the doctors had told me that by the age of 35, I would be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. And guys, I am well beyond that age, right? To feeling great. Guys, I'm dancing again. I am gardening again. I am traveling the world and doing exciting things and swimming in the ocean again. Things that I never thought would be possible. And so I invite you. What is possible for you? I hope that you are inspired enough to engage with your life, engage with your wellness, to create daily health habits, to create a protocol, to create a plan, to get you back on track in whatever way that means. But to do it, to not take no for an answer, to persevere and be determined that life is worth living, and that life can be beautiful, and life can be full of joy and passion, and that you can and you will radiate your glorious awesomeness every moment of every day. I love each and every one of you. I think that you're all amazing, and that every moment of every day has the potential to be awesome and amazing if we only allow it. Have an amazing day. See you online. Look forward to connecting with you.